Good morning. You're watching Much Ado About Something, and I'm Donna. Welcome. If you're new here, and if you've been around a while, welcome back. I've already got my hands dirty this morning. I've been out here working in this garden and moving a few things. I've dug up a few things that I needed to be replanted, and so I've got it here and dug those things up and moved them. And I'll show you what I did with that. You could probably remember that I needed to move some fern and things that were too much in the sun. They were getting too much sun. They were getting beat down by it. Well, it was almost 90 some degrees yesterday. Goodness gracious, it was hot. So a lot of things in the garden just take a toll when the heat bears down on it like that. So I'm out here this morning moving things where they need to be and giving things plenty of water and cleaning up a few things here and there. Thank you for joining me today. Today's tea is ginger. I'm having ginger tea. I've got it on ice. I've got a little bit spicy. Ginger can be spicy. Well, this has been the main focus of my work this morning. I did dig up those ferns that I had there. There's a little piece of it left here, and I just left that because it was up under this other plant and I thought it would be okay. I planted some sage there because it can take the heat. The coleus is doing fine, but I dug up the hellebore that was there too and divided it. There were 3 in there, so I put, you can see the toll that the heat and everything took on that, and it looked like that before I moved it, so it's going to be okay. I put one there and then one down here a little bit further, and then the parent one I moved out here beside of where the little rabbit's been nibbling, and I don't think he'll eat the hellebore, but we'll see. I'm taking the scrub brush and just scrubbing things. And I moved the ferns, the 2 ferns, well, the big clump of fern, I divided it and got 2. So I put one here and one over here. I'm using that broken clay pot just as a border until I get that thing established. I often do that. Whenever I have clay pots that break, I reuse the pieces. I put the smaller broken pieces, I put them in a pile, and I have a designated area for those that I lay in the bottom of my pots to keep, over the big drainage holes to keep my soil from going out. And then I'll use the other broken piece as a border. And in this instance, it's a border around this fern that I've moved and divided. Now this is kind of sharp, so I don't put this anywhere where the kids will be. It's usually in an out-of-way place, and you can, of course, knock that off and make it less sharp if you'd like. But I just use the top of the broken pot as a border whenever I move anything. Well, over here in this shaded area where I've been working this morning, I've been digging up overgrowth, cutting back some areas that need to be cut back. This elderberry here, it was hanging so low, the branches. Of course, it's blooming right now. Excuse me. So I didn't want to cut that thing back too much because I'm going to harvest that. I use those elderberries to make cough syrup, and I use them to make other things. I dry them out, and you can make tea from the berries. So I'm not cutting that thing back too much because it's blooming, but I am lifting up under. If you can see, I've cut some of the limbs up under there to clear out that little area a little bit more. And I've got a lot of overgrowth. I had a lot of Virginia creeper, and there was a couple of walnut trees and a little bit too much passion flower. I had a lot of overgrowth in this area, so I've been in here thinning that out and taking out what's not needed of that. That's what I've been doing this morning. I've been so busy working on that vegetable garden that I really hadn't been out here in the front garden doing too much work, but some things you just don't want to let go too long. This is where Donald and I store our tools, our work tools that we use on a daily basis out here in the garden. Now, we've been in this house for a long time, but in the beginning we used to carry these things back to the building after we used them every time, but then it came to a point we just used them so much that it wasn't practical. I was talking to an artist friend of mine the other day. I have many artist friends, and we were talking about creative energy. You know, that's why artists have studios. They have everything set up for them, so when they go to the studio and when their creative ideas and energy hit them, they can just go to the studio and start creating, whether that be painting, drawing, pottery, many other forms of art, whatever it is. They have a designated area, usually called their studio, and that's where they go to use their creative energy. Well, I think gardening is a form of art. It definitely is, and it is for me. It's a form of self-expression and a form of art. Of course, we can only do with what we have. Donald and I are here on 1/4 of an acre in the city, and I've talked to you about that before, and we are doing the best we can with what we have to enjoy the plants and grow the food and things that we want to grow for our family, for ourselves. In that process, you know, you don't want to be running back and forth, spending all of your energy, all of your creative energy. You don't want it to be manual hard work consistently to the point that you don't have any energy left to create. And so that's why we just put the tools right here, and we're trying to find a solution for that. Whether we build a little building, or whether a little potting shed, so to speak, or whether we buy one of those plastic containers that you can lock, you know, open and put your garden tools in and lock and put it over here on the side of the house. We're not sure what our solution to that problem is yet, but we are looking for a solution. And when I come to that solution, I'll be sure and share it with you. But we are in the process now of trying to keep everything close at hand so that we have it when we have the time to get out here and do it. The tools and the amendments and, you know, whatever it is that you might use in your garden, what we use in our garden. So that's, I'm out here this morning able to just get a few tasks done and able to think about what it is that we need. I've got 3 bird baths out here in front, so I'm cleaning those this morning and moving things around and trying to make sure I get everything watered really well before the heat hits today. It's supposed to be really hot again today, and I want to make sure all these plants have what they need and that they don't just dry up on me. I've got some pests just eating away on my little zinnias that I planted out here. So I'm going to mix up some neem oil and just spray on those plants so that I can try to get those pests off of those zinnias before I plant them.
Gives me dog kisses.
He does.
Uh-huh.
What are we getting ready to do?
Hold baby bunnies.
What you got there?
A baby bunny.
Yeah. Tiny little baby bunny.
Uh-huh.
So soft.
Uh-huh. He ate one.
He ate a treat? Go get the other one and make him sit like you do before you give it to him. Tell him to sit.
Sit.
You got to give it to him after you make him sit. He usually listens to you and sits, doesn't he?
He doesn't say, sit, Ollie. Like that. He doesn't sit.
Good boy. You gonna hug him? Give him a petting? Good joy. Good dog sitting.
Good dog, Sam.
Good dog listening to David.
Can I get that one?
Is this one of life's wonderful joys? To get to hold a baby bunny?
Mm-hmm.
You like his little eyes?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part about him?
He's mine and this little cutie.
He is a cutie. Is he so soft?
Mm-hmm. He's a little bunny.
Is there anything sweeter?
Baby bunnies.
Is your baby being very good?
He's so cute.
Do we have a name for that little bunny?
His name is Spots.
Oh, it's Spots?
Uh-huh.
That's a good name for it. It has spots.
Okay. There's black spots. He's named Spots.
Yeah. It's pretty peaceful this morning. I'm able to get quite a bit of work done without any interruptions, and that's always a good day. Out here trying to solve problems and get everything hydrated and get it ready for the hot day that's coming. Trying to enjoy what's blooming while it's blooming. Big old pretty blooms on that Queen Anne's lace. Well, I'm going to get back to scrubbing the bird baths and all the things that's a mess out here, and maybe do a little bit more pruning before the end of the day. I hope this gave you some motivation, some encouragement, and some thought. And maybe if you have some ideas on how to store garden tools in the city, I would appreciate it if you like to comment those. I'll consider all the comments that I get and see if I can find a solution. Thank you for joining me today, and like always, until next time.